dedicated to raising awareness about discrimination, promoting gender parity, and working toward a world free of bias that honors our differences and lifts up all women equally. And most importantly, International Women's Day is a time to celebrate the power and accomplishments of women all over the world and right here. So let's give a round of applause to all the women in the Talk studio today, all of the crew, my co-hosts, and our amazing, incredible audience. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the incredible women. And to our gentlemen, Jerry and Akbar. So what did you guys get us, guys?
You know what? You know, because you guys are hosts, I just want to let you guys know how much I appreciate you guys. I got you a microphone. I got you a microphone.
Nice.
I got you a microphone. There you go.
Well done. Well played, Akbar. Well played.
Well, hey, I just want to give a special shout out to the women in my life. I want to give a shout out to my wife, Crystal, who continues to hold it down. My two beautiful daughters who are growing up in a more inclusive society that are really including women and growing women to be strong leaders. And then I want to give a special shout out to my manager, Alexi Posner, who's just a straight boss. You know, she's a woman who is just absolutely knocking it out the park in the entertainment world.
Well done. Well done. All right, are you ready for it? It's time for Top of the Talk. All right. The popular Instagram page, World Star, posed a very spicy question.
World Star.
If a man...
That's how you have to say it.
World
Star.
Just like that? World Star. Okay.
I didn't know, Jerry. I didn't know you followed World Star. I didn't know.
Now I know.
You're a cool brother to me.
World Star. Okay, if a man proposes to his girlfriend and she says no, is the relationship then over? Well, okay, interesting. Well, I'm glad you all say this because people's responses were varied. Some writing, you coming back to work after they fire you? Others saying, only you and your partner determine your relationship timeline. So should a relationship end after a failed proposal? Go ahead, Akbar.
You know what? It's interesting to hear the no. It's interesting to hear the no's. I'm about to flip this upside down.
Mostly female audience right near the front row where they were all like,
now check this out.
That's right.
So the correct answer is yes. It should be over. Now check this out. I hear you. I hear you. Now it's interesting because when we talk about double standards, right? Because if a guy takes too long to propose, usually the women are like, he's out, he's done. But all of a sudden now it's different. If this guy gets the nerve to actually propose, and you then turn around and say no, I'm like, I'm out. Look, if I'm locked outside of my car, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I get locked outside of my car, I'm not getting back in the car, right? I can't get out. I'm locked out. I'm hopping in the Uber. I'm getting on the next ride, and I'm out of there.
Okay, Amanda?
I just have to say, all the ladies with this topic were like, no, no, no. And then you just said that, and every woman was like,
Yeah. They thought about it.
It made me pause.
It made us all, you made every woman in this audience have a pause.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No.
You didn't pause on that one, Sheryl?
No, I didn't.
So if a guy takes 10 years, to propose, you gonna stay around, right?
No.
Because that's the definitive answer. If you saying that he proposed and she said no.
That's a definitive answer.
That's an answer right there. But you study long, study wrong, unless I've invested in this person. But here's my answer to this. Say the question one more time, Akbar. If a man
proposes and she says no, are you still staying in that relationship?
Yeah, because he know what time it is. We just kicking it. We just kicking it. I said I didn't want to marry. I said I didn't want to marry you, it doesn't mean I don't want to get them good benefits you be giving. You know what I'm talking about? You know, he could be a fly guy, and I don't want to marry him. That's good. And now the man knows he now has the choice to go on and do what he wants to do.
That's why I'm hopping in the other car if I'm locked outside of my house. Or I'm locked outside of my car, I'm hopping in another car.
What if I just want to
when you're
stay
hopping in
with
another
you?
car? Are you hopping in another car with another woman?
Now, well,
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
And
Of
do I
course.
get to date your brother or something like that since we ain't getting married? Do I get to date your brother?
No, I'm hopping with another woman.
You get to be with another woman. Why can't I be with
This is
another
all
man?
hypothetical because Crystal said yes right away.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yes.
So I'm good. I'm good.
How fast?
Yes.
I'm good.
Right away.
Wait a minute. Let's get Jerry's opinion.
What do you think,
Jerry, what's your
Jerry?
opinion?
If I got locked outside of my car, I would.
That's not the question. The question is, let's go back to the original question.
I'm going to use the analogy. If I got locked out of my car, I would call the locksmith and I would get right back in there.
Yeah.
So you'd stick around.
Who's the locksmith in the relationship?
You would be trying. You would still be trying to get in there.
Yeah, for months I had to beg my wife to marry me. It wasn't like an engagement. It was like a month. It was like a month long me following her around crying, saying, please, please, please.
Put a ring on it.
Jerry, man.
Please,
Come on,
let
man.
me ring on
You
it.
set us back, Jerry. You set us back.
Oh, man. Okay, well, if you did get married, as eventually Jerry did, this story is for you. Older married adults are revealing the marriage myths that more people should know. One person wrote, the most common misconception about marriage is that marriage should be 50-50. There are times that I carry his weight, and there are times that he carries mine. While another person said, you should go to bed mad sometimes. What do you think? What's a marriage myth that you found to be false? I would restate what that person said, that you should go to bed mad sometimes, because sometimes you just need to sleep so that you can think on things. You need a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that's right.
You need to roll around a little bit with the thoughts in your head, and you need to think things through before you can have a real conversation, because you can't meet eye to eye if you're real mad, and you can't look at that person in the eye and have a real conversation if you're, just fuming mad at that person. So I think better to cooler heads prevail the next morning. Go to sleep. Sometimes it's okay to sleep in another bed, even.
That part I've never done. That part I've never done. I don't believe in that part.
It teaches you a lesson.
You sleep well.
That's right. That's right. And wait.
And especially if they're not snoring, you sleep really well.
And it depends on how mad I am if you need to sleep with one eye open, because I'm still mad.
Anybody else have a myth they want to go ahead and set the record straight on? Jerry?
What about the one with the sex with the same person?
Oh, that sex with the same person gets boring?
Forever, yeah.
That it gets stale?
See, to me, that's what wigs and fake names are for. You can have sex with any wig. You can have sex with Bethany. If that's what you want to call me.
How many wigs do you have in your dressing room?
That's right. I got about 50 wigs in my dressing room.
Cheryl's got
Every wig is a different person.
Yes.
I'm gonna go home tonight and I'm gonna put a wig on.
Go like this, Jerry.
I thought of another one. Communication's another one that I think is a myth. He's like, you ask an older couple, like, what's the secret to a long relationship? And they go, oh, communication. I'm like, that's a damn lie. You know it. I know, look, 15 years in, I say, all right, I'm going to try to communicate. And the minute I start communicating, boom, everything just, oh, man. I'm like, sometimes it's just like, just hold this one in because I got a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? So, but they say communicate like it's easy. It should be communicate and expect a big fight after you communicate, especially if you're the guy.
And it's okay
Especially if you're the guy.
to go to bed angry.
Go to bed angry.
And then sleep in another bed.
No, I don't play around like that. I got a California king. I'm sleeping my California king. I'm too tall to sleep anywhere else, and that's real talk. I'm too tall to sleep anywhere else.
There was a gentleman, I won't point him out, that when you said that, he was like...
Hey, whoever you are, I feel you.
He felt your pain.
And you don't need to communicate with me. I'm already reading your mind. I know what you're thinking.
Okay. All right, well, here's a good one. Imagine a fun night out, bowling with a few friends, some friendly competition, pitchers of beer, rental shoes. Now imagine everybody's naked. Yep, this is actually happening. Apparently twice a year for the past 3 years.
What?
A group of people are getting it on. Well, not really, but it's happening.
I love you, Dad.
Not getting it on, getting it off. They're taking it off. Yeah.
It is happening.
In the Pittsburgh area.
In Pittsburgh, naturists, they're putting on quite an unforgettable night of bowling in the nude. Nudity is required, but hanky-panky is strictly prohibited. Participants are asked, though, to bring a towel. Why? Yes, bowling in the nude again. How do we feel about this, and what activities should not be done naked? Amanda. I don't know why you guys this one.
It's just so funny thinking about this, and they're all nude, but they're wearing bowling shoes, I'm guessing. And just think of, you're up there with your ball. I actually really like
so you're up there with your what?
Your ball.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that ending pose, that pose. But no, I have to tell you a very quick, funny story.
Okay.
I'm in London. I'm doing a show, and considered off-Broadway of London, so on the other side of the bank from the West End. And it is the theater is next to a gay nudist club.
Okay.
Okay? Now, this theater, because it's... Jerry has been there. This theater, because it's small and a different kind of theater, you have to walk outside of the theater to go to the other side of the stage. If you have a crossover, there's no backstage crossover. You have to walk outside. And this play I was doing, I was in a Victorian garb. I had a bustle, a huge hat, a wig, an umbrella. And we had to literally share the alley with the nude club.
Wow.
So I would be walking out the stage door to go to the other side of the stage, and I would just be walking past completely nude men.
Wow.
Drinking their beers in socks. Apparently socks was...
Okay.
And I'm in my full gown, wig, hat, umbrella, walking by all these men just naked.
Wow.
That is the bomb.
Oh, my God. That is quite a visual. I'm just picturing that visually.
And I will just say, no one needs to even drink beer naked. Naked, it just does not need to happen. It just doesn't need to happen.
I don't know. Yeah.
I just know I'm not. Look. First off, you guys get your mind out the gutter, okay? I'm not bowling naked, all right? I'm not bowling naked, and the one thing I would not want to see, if you talk about what other thing you wouldn't want to see naked, I wouldn't want to see a dude squatting in the gym naked. Yeah. That could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Akbar. If you were nude bowling, you would get extra points because you're using 11 pins and 3 balls. So you would get extra points.
The most viral TikToks of the week. It is time for TikTok. All right, first up, this dad went out of his way to make his kids feel like part of the A-list at the club.
My name is Evie.
Right here, top of the list.
Hold up. What's your name? Sir? All right. All right, just wait.
I tip my hat off to that, Dad. That is the most creative thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That was good.
He actually could have made a little money. He could have charged them a cover.
All right, watch as this woman finds out she's going to be a grandma. I think she's a little excited.
Oh, my. What is this? What is this? What the? What is that? What is this? Wait a minute! What the? Wait! Let me get my. No! It couldn't be one. No, it couldn't be. What is this?
I want this to be the new thing. I mean, like gender reveals are like all the popular thing on the internet. I want grandparent reveals.
Yeah.
Really into them.
And I love that some of us at a particular age looking for the reading glasses.
Or that she thought that she would give the gift of not being pregnant.
Come on, Sheryl. Come on, Sheryl. You ready? Here we go, Sheryl.
There you go.
That's right.
Oh, man.
You guys look good with your glasses. All right, well, the new Dune movie is in theaters now, but you have to bring your own sandworm. That's wild.
Really cool.
That person made that. That's wild that they made that contraption.
Whoever that dude is a pick-me.
is.
He's a pick-me dude because if you run that video back, y'all know that term pick-me. Nobody's paying attention to him. Look at this. Everybody's in their own. Nobody's looking at him. Look at this. Look at this.
I bet you any money that's in New York City and people are like, we've seen it all.
That's right.
I mean, the dude's getting the popcorn. Ain't nobody paying attention to him. Whatever.
All right, I thought my dogs were pretty talented, pretty well trained, but you know, your dog might be able to sit and stay. Can he do this? Incredible, very smart dogs. Coming up next, the dazzling, the delightful, the beautiful Denise Richards. She is here.
Our first guest played a Bond girl on the big screen before getting bougie in Beverly Hills with the Real Housewives. Now the designer shops and her action chops come together for the new movie Hunting Housewives. Take a look.
Hey.
I filled a barf bag with berries.
Oh,
that's all I got.
Great.
Oh my gosh, this looks so nice, Sheryl.
Thank you. What is that?
I'm pretty sure it's the pilot's.
He got a parachute. How nice for him.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to freak you guys out, but I saw a bear.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
What did you do?
I prayed.
Are going to be watching. Please welcome my friend Denise Richards.
I hear you have a big weekend ahead of you because you have a 20-year-old coming your way.
Yes.
Your daughter, Sammy's going to be 20 this weekend?
Turning 20.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I feel like
birthday, Sammy.
I I feel like she was just born.
Me
right?
too. It really does go so fast, and it's so surreal because I turned 20 when I got my first acting job. So it's really strange to have, you know, a real now grown up.
You know, and speaking of that acting job, that was actually Saved by the Bell, right?
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. What do you remember about that time? That was Mario Lopez. There you are with Mario.
Oh, he had to save me from drowning in the ocean. I was so nervous to be like pretending to drown, but I did just get my a residual check for 3 cents.
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah, I was gonna frame it because it cost more for them to send it to me than the actual residual.
Cha-ching.
Exactly.
Denise, it's been so much fun seeing you back on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, how is it going back and seeing everybody?
You know, I was so nervous to go back into it, especially not going back as a housewife. But I had a good time though. I really love Garcelle and Sutton, and I've gotten to know Crystal too, so it was fun.
Anne-Marie Wiley is on there too. Yes, a friend of mine. Yeah.
I mean, would you do more? Are we going to see more of you on there?
We'll see.
I
don't know. No, not
breaking
breaking news, but you know, they haven't asked me to do more, so if they did, I would.
You know, because when you actually first joined Housewives back in 2019, it was actually this guy right here, Jerry, who spilled the news before it was even announced.
Jerry.
Right? Put it all out there. Right? He kind of stole the spotlight. How did you feel about that? And how did he get the exclusive?
My husband and I ran into Jerry and Rebecca. We live close by at a restaurant, and I told him, and he was so excited. But I was fine with it. But the network, they didn't want me to share the news, and I think you probably got a phone call.
I did. It was you told me. I thought it was public knowledge, and I talked about it with a news outlet.
Yeah.
And I got I got a stern call from someone whose initials are Andy Cohen. Dude, what are you doing?
I know.
And so I'm sorry I did that. I don't realize it was privileged conversation.
It was the best announcement ever, having you announce it. It really was.
Oh, wow. So sorry. Oh, wow.
It's also coming from somebody who is such a fan of the franchise. He was genuinely so excited.
Yeah,
so.
Jerry,
you
are not a fan of all of these shows.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to get back into it? I mean, just, you know, because I know there's a lot of moving parts, you know, to the Housewives.
You know, it was easier. Now I kind of get some things with it, but I only did a few episodes, and I originally just showed up to go to Garcelle had a screening for her movie, and I didn't tell anyone I was coming.
You didn't tell Jerry, right?
I didn't tell Jerry. And I just showed up to support her, so I wasn't planning on filming, and then they asked me to do a few dinners and lunches, and I said, sure.
All right,
is it hard to keep secrets when you have to show up for these things? I mean...
No, I mean, I genuinely was coming to support her, and I didn't even think about, you know, that part of it. I probably should have.
Denise, I'm so sorry, everybody. I just have to ask this. You have one of the most popular quotes in all of Bravo everything. Denise famously said, bravo, 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 when you didn't want something filmed. Do people come up and yell that to you? I mean, I would yell that.
Yeah.
If I saw you driving, I would just pull up and go, bravo, bravo, bravo. I mean, people do it all the time.
No, I do have a few people that do it. It's funny.
We got to talk about this movie that you're in, Hunting Housewives. The concept sounds wild. Tell us about it. It has nothing to do with Housewives of Beverly Hills.
It has nothing to do with
Housewives. But tell us what the premise is.
A group of 4 very wealthy, fancy women go on a spa retreat, and it sounds very dark, but our plane kind of goes down, and then we're in the wilderness having to survive with just our designer handbag. And it's very different from a lot of the Lifetime movies that I've done. It does have a lot of humor. It's a bit of a thriller. It's got a lot of twists and turns, and it's fun. It's a fun movie, too.
Yeah, and we saw in the clip, you said you saw a bear and you would pray. What would you do in real life if you saw a bear?
I did see a bear in real life. Hiking Glacier National Park with my sister who lives in Montana, and I was so scared. I know they say don't run, but I did it was about 5 feet away. I had a very brisk walk up to my sister. I'm like, there's a bear. And it wasn't a very relaxing hike because she would always clap I'm like, why do we have to keep clapping? Like, this isn't. She goes, because of the bears. I'm like,
It just brought the attention.
It scared me.
I bet it did. Well, before we let you go, I have got to ask you this. Is there a possibility that we're going to see you again on The Bold and the Beautiful?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I love working on that show. If they called me to come back and work on it, I definitely would. I love everyone over there.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure they would love to have you come back. Denise, always great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us here. Hunting Housewives premieres this Saturday, March 9th at 8 p.m. on Lifetime. From the viral podcast, Comfort Food, Kelly Rizzo is joining us up next.
Our next guest went through the heartbreaking tragedy of her husband, Bob Saget's unexpected death. In coping with that loss, she created the podcast Comfort Food, which now helps her audience deal with their own grief. Please welcome my friend, the beautiful Kelly Rizzo!
'That's the question I'm supposed to ask. I want to tell you something. Bob Saget was the reason why I tell the jokes that I tell in a nightclub, because he showed that you can have duality. Yeah. You can play this guy that can host a family game show or be a father in a sitcom, but he used to tell the greatest dirty jokes. They were called blue. They were called blue jokes because the jokes you had to take out of your set were written on blue cards. That's why they were blue. But he would tell the greatest jokes, and every time we would see each other, we would try to outmatch each other in the jokes from each other. And I loved him so much, and he was a teacher. He was a teacher to me, and he would always say, don't let them tell you you cannot tell these jokes. That is the foundation of comedy.
That was the biggest thing for him. Thank you so much for saying that. And that was, I mean, you know, from your mouth to his ears, because that was one of the biggest things about him. He loved shaking things up, and he loved keeping people on their toes. And you know, he had to go to the next level. Like, he did all the family TV, and so he's like, all right, my stand-up is not going to be that.
That's right. That's me. That's me. That's where I got it, him.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Okay, so you and Amanda met shortly after Bob's passing. So how were you two introduced?
Well, first off, you're just such a special friend in my life, and I'm so appreciative of you, and have been from day one. She is truly an angel. And we met, it's so funny, I was looking to you for inspiration on your Instagram. I was like, how long after losing Nick did you smile for the first time, where you posted something, where you're like, okay, I can at least look happy? And I remember I was looking at your Instagram, and that day, I get a call from Rabbi Steve Leder, our mutual friend, and he said, you know, do you know Amanda Klutz? If not, I really want to introduce you guys. Like, I was just on her Instagram today. And not even a week later, we were having coffee, and then we just hit it off, and we just bonded over a very unfortunate but shared experience.
Yep. And, you know, ironically, you know, the three of us up here are all widows, and I think that's very crazy, but also, you know, it's a pain that not a lot of people know, and so it's important, I think, when somebody is new on the scene,
new to the club,
that you take them under your wing. And well, thank you, and I love you dearly, you know that. And I felt so honored when I was a guest on your new podcast, Comfort Food. Tell everybody all about it and how you came up with the name.
Well, you know, being new to the grief world, it's something I'd never really experienced before. Number one, I realized how little I knew about it. And I had almost felt ashamed by, when you're in it, then you realize, oh my God, all these years that somebody lost somebody, how was I horrible to, did I not do a good job in helping them? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you want to talk about it all the time. Yeah. And nobody really wants to have these conversations because they're not very fun to have all the time, and they're, a little dark, and they're still a little taboo. So I'm like, how can I create these conversations where I can make this more approachable, more palatable, but also give people advice on how to help or what not to do when somebody else is grieving. So it kind of gives them tips and tricks for how to help their friends or loved ones going through grief. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I had you on. What's your favorite comfort food? Let's eat. Amanda, hers was grilled cheese and French fries, waffle fries.
Wow.
So if we can have these, if we can have these conversations over your favorite comfort food, it makes it a little cozier and a little easier.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure that you've had I know you've had incredible guests and sort of very impactful conversations. Is there somebody, besides me, of course, that, that you've had a really aha moment with?
Well, all of my guests have been really helpful in helping me learn more about grief going forward and how now I can help others. But what's been so surprising is everyone's willingness to just really open up and be very raw about it. 'Cause sometimes, when you ask somebody about a loss or about grief, you're like, are they gonna not want to talk about it? Is it gonna be too painful? And people really want to open up and get very real about it. I'd say maybe my most interesting episode that I had was with John Mayer, because he had never really experienced grief before losing Bob either. And he has such a unique perspective on it, and such a poetic take on it that a lot of people really learned a lot from that episode, even from somebody who hadn't experienced a typical loss in their life.
It is a great episode. I listened to it.
And you have a new book coming out? It's in the works. In the works, just a little tease. It's just half cookbook and then half stories about Bob and dinners that we've shared, and his friends telling anecdotes about their favorite meals with him too. So.
Because Kelly is also a great cook. I can concur. She's had me over for dinner. And give us some light at the end of the tunnel, because we are all back in the dating scene. Give us some tips. Any highlights, good things that have come your way?
Yeah, well, I was very concerned when I first started thinking about dating again and moving forward. How am I going to find someone who just gets it, who appreciates the situation, who's strong enough to really handle it and deal with this crazy, weird world, and also understands that Bob's not going anywhere, and he's going to be a part of my life forever. And I've just been so lucky to find someone who does appreciate that and gets it and holds space for that and is strong enough and confident enough to handle that, and also loves talking about Bob and asking questions about Bob, and just knows that he's always going to have a place in my life. So
that's really,
he's the best.
Really it's true though. They're never going anywhere. You have to find somebody that lifts that up as well. Oh, Kelly, you're so amazing. You're the best. I love you so much. Kelly, thank you so much. You guys, everybody go listen to Comfort Food with Kelly Rizzo. It's available wherever you get your podcast. And you can follow Kelly across all social media platforms at Eat Travel Rock. We'll be right back.
If you don't like waiting in long lines at the airport, we've got you covered. It's time for today's must-have giveaway.
Clear can't save you from daylight savings, but it can save you time at the airport. Visit Clear Me online and use the code SPRINGAHEAD for $30 off Clear Plus. Guess what? Everyone in today's studio audience is going home with a one-year Clear Plus membership, which retails for $189. We'll be right back. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What? Oh, my goodness.
We've got a lot of great guests coming up on The Talk next week. Second gentleman of the United States, Douglas Emhoff, is going to be here with us. Also from CSI Las Vegas, Marg Helgenberger, Erica Jane, Chris Hardwick, Malika Andrews, Rita Moreno, Chelsea Peretti, and so many more. Also, please don't forget, daylight saving time starts this weekend, so be sure to change the clock on your microwave or on your watch. Also, to get your weekend started, stick around for some of the highlights from this week on The Talk right after the break.